Hi there, Inspired Peoples. It's Sarah Mitchell from Inspired Education Services here. Just jumping in to do a quick video on getting kids organised today. If you're a teacher or a parent, this one is for you. Just a little bit about me. I'm a dyslexia, specific learning difficulties and literacy specialist. And if you'd like to get more information about these things, I'm going to be posting videos regularly, so please hit subscribe below to make sure that you get updates and the little bell so you'll be informed when I've got new videos coming. So this one is a little trick, or a few tricks in fact, 5 steps that I use to get kids organised for daily routines. So if you're a teacher, you could use this for the morning classroom routines or getting them organised for PE, anywhere that they've got a regular routine. If you're a parent, this will be really useful for getting your kid out the door in the morning and also things like homework. So this is a little way to get them organised and following their own steps with a bit more independence without you having to harp on them or continually give steps or oversee them the whole time, or it taking 2 hours instead of 20 minutes. So there's 5 main things that I want to share with you today. The first one is you can use a visual timetable. So this is a visual timetable that I made, I'll just show you here, for my nephew who I was homeschooling. He had some difficulty getting himself organised in the morning. He was about 13, so I sort of tried to choose pictures that would appeal to him. And basically it's just all the steps that he had to do in the morning. Now this seems pretty obvious, and a lot of parents say, I've made one of those, and they don't follow it. So in order to get them to follow it, the first thing you need to do is to get the child to have some input into making that. So sit down and go through the steps that they need to go through in their daily routine, and then record it with them, maybe even get their input to do the pictures. So you're basically kind of getting them to agree to doing these things rather than just telling them that that's what they're going to do. That's one way. The next way is when you're actually going through the routine, rather than telling them every step. So instead of saying it's time to get up and have you put your clothes away and have you put your books in your bag and all those things and telling them every step, instead you can just say, have you done the next thing on your chart? So you're removing yourself just that one step from the process rather than telling them what they have to do, just saying, have you checked the chart? So when I first started doing this with him, I had to say, have you checked the chart a lot, because he would go and sit down and watch telly, eat breakfast and then go and sit down and watch telly, brush his teeth and then go and sit down and watch telly. And every single time I would just say, is there anything left on your chart? The other thing is to put these in a number of places in your house or in your classroom. So not just one, but for my example, I put one on the fridge door, I put one in the bathroom, and I put one in his bedroom, so that wherever he went in the morning, there was one there for him to refer to. So at first I had to keep telling him to come back and look at what he had to do, but after a while he just knew that if he'd finished one thing, he needed to go back to the chart and check if there was still anything left before he could sit down and watch TV. So it's just giving them that structured scaffolding to get more and more independent with getting organised. The next tip I've got for you is to practice this routine. If it is a getting ready for school routine, not in the morning when you're trying to get out the door. So with holidays coming up, now is a perfect time for you to just do some dry runs of just practicing this routine. So maybe make the visual timetable over the holidays and then have a few practice runs with your child when it's just the morning, but they're not necessarily having to get out by a certain time, because at first it will take a long time, but over time as the child gets to learn the steps in their sequence, it should speed up a little bit. So practicing it when you're not in a really stressful situation can really help as well. The next tip I have for you is to do all the prep you can before, so before the event. So if it is a getting ready for school routine, maybe there is homework that can be packed into the bag the night before. Maybe they can have their uniforms laid out the night before. And again, trying to get the child to be as independent as possible with that. So at first you're supporting them, but over time you're kind of removing the support slowly. So it might start with you showing them what they've got to lay out and what they've got to do. Then you can have them do it with you. So you could say, okay, what do we normally do first? Oh, we normally put my books in the bag. Okay, great, go ahead and do that. What do we normally do next? I've got to make sure that my shoes and my uniform are laid out. Awesome, go do that. So you're getting them to kind of verbalize it, and then over time, hopefully you'll just be able to say, okay, it's time to go and get prepped for school for tomorrow before we do our bed routine and get into bed. So I hope you found these tips really useful. It does take a little bit of time and input in the beginning, but it will save a whole lot of heartache at those times when we've got to get out the door and it's taking far too long. If you want, I've got a couple of these organisers. You can just click the link below and you can download some of my copies of visual timetables that you can just customize for yourself and use. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Please comment below. I love to hear input and also any other questions or issues you've had. If you've tried something like this in the past, let me know how it's gone, and I'd love to hear from you. Have a great day.